This episode of the GSE podcast is brought to you by Exceed Ground Support Equipment Leasing, your trusted partner for GSE solutions. We specialize in tailored operating leases for ground handlers and airlines, offering top-notch equipment and flexible terms to suit your needs. Partner with the industry leaders like JBT AeroTech. We're committed to bringing you new equipment offerings that keep your operations running smoothly and efficiently. Choose Exceed for competitive rates and exceptional customer service. Visit exceedgse.com today and soar to new heights with Exceed Ground Support Equipment Leasing. All right, welcome to the third episode of the GSE podcast. I'm here at JBT headquarters in Orlando, Florida with Patrick McDowell.
How's it going? Welcome to the facility.
Oh, thanks, man. Just got a little bit of a tour. We went and saw some electric pushbacks that you guys are working on. So I got to walk around the facility, see some of the new stuff, and having a great day so far. How are you doing?
Doing well. Enjoying the warm weather now. It's not raining, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But I'm very accustomed to the off and on weather of Memphis, Tennessee. So being down here where it's a little bit more consistent is nice because it's been rather chilly up north. So yeah.
You're moving to Orlando, Florida, if I'm correct.
Correct. I am in the process of getting a family of 3 down here. So we're just waiting for the school year to get over with, and then we'll be down in Florida full time to enjoy the summer.
So what were you doing in Memphis, Tennessee?
Oh, a lot. So I was born and raised in Memphis. The only time I've really left Memphis was to go to college, went to Mississippi State, came back, and I spent 7 or 8 years working for a cargo airline with big purple tails out of Memphis, Tennessee. So that should be pretty obvious as to who that is.
Yeah.
But did a number of things there. Spent some time in sales, spent some time in sourcing, GSE specifically, and then also did some strategic project management work there. But yeah, outside of that, biggest hobby is basketball. So this is...
You are a tall guy.
Yeah. And I'm the short one in my family. I'm about 6'3", 6'4".
Okay.
My dad is 6'9". So yeah, it's a great disparity in height, even though I'm the child of a 6'9" adult. So I'm still 6 inches shorter than him.
I'm still trying to get over the 6'9". So did your dad play professional basketball?
Oh yeah. So he played college ball at what was then Memphis State University.
Okay.
And then he played 6 years in the NBA and then played 3 years in Europe. Came back to the States in 1990, which was when I was born. And unfortunately, he was working out with the Denver Nuggets at the time, and he had a heart valve collapse in the middle of a workout session in that high altitude.
Did Kembe Mutombo save him?
No, not quite. But obviously, it was a very emergency situation.
Oh my gosh!
So that's what ended his career. He has a prosthetic heart valve now. But after that, they came back to Memphis. He and my mom, and I was about 6 months old then. And we've been in Memphis ever since. So this is the first big move for my family coming down here. And, basically growing up, I grew up in a marketing household with a dad who did broadcasting, TV and radio for the University of Memphis and for the Memphis Grizzlies. So being accustomed to the equipment surrounding us right now, this is kind of normal for me in a way. So,
man, that is a good story. My dad was not that cool. I'm going to be honest with you. Definitely not a broadcaster, and definitely not 6'9".
Yeah.
So
look, there's pros and cons.
I'm a healthy 5'8". So it's
so you can't wear my size 15 shoe. That's what you're saying. Okay.
No, I think I'd look like Ronald McDonald. I'm pretty sure. So I didn't expect.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, having a father who is a professional athlete comes with its there's perks, but there's also a lot of hey, everything's got to be on point.
Yeah,
everything's 150% at all times and got to be perfect. So you grew up in a certain way, but obviously it was still a great life as well. So
did any of your siblings play college ball?
So my younger brother played college basketball. He played at the University of Memphis as well. So He was there during the Josh Pastner and Tubby Smith days. So,
oh yeah, Tubby Smith
yeah.
was the coach of UK for a little bit.
Yeah.
When we won, I think we won a national title underneath him.
Yeah, you did. You won one.
Yeah, we won one, and I was not there for that game. I was there for when they were in the Sweet 16. But I'm a UK basketball fan.
Oh yeah. Oh, we love Tubby Smith in our household. He's just he's just a great coach, but he was also a great human. Yeah, he took care of his players and tried to not just mold them into players, but also mold them into human beings that will help society and stuff. So we're big fans of Tubby.
Yeah, we have Calipari. This is getting off subject.
Who also came from Memphis.
But does not shape his players for their future. So anyway, but back to ground support equipment.
Yeah. What's that again?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. We got a little bit off topic, but I think that's it's part of the podcast. We got to learn about the people in the industry and their backgrounds, and it's always fun to kind of hear stories about where people came from. Because one of the questions I always ask is like, how did you get involved in the industry? Obviously, you were working for a cargo airline. I imagine, sourcing the equipment. So that's kind of your background. It made sense that JBT would want you here. You're already very familiar with the equipment, very familiar with the processes that go into purchasing the equipment and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, there's just a small number of JBT equipment in Memphis.
Yeah.
I say that sarcastically, obviously.
Yeah, it's probably full of it. So that's great. So that's how you got in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So have you been to a ground support equipment trade show yet?
So I did, but I was sitting on the other side of the table.
Oh,
I went there as a customer. So when I was still working for the cargo airline, I went to Vegas and was part of the trade show and walking around and talking to everybody. So now I'm on the opposite side, right? So working for JBT, I'm in one booth, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to walk a couple miles every day.
Yeah, you don't have to talk to all those people either. Well, wait a minute. You have to talk to the customers.
Well, I got to talk to a lot of people,
that's a good point.
But it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
But,
so what year were you there at the GSE
that was
Expo?
Probably, I'm trying to think, 2000.
Was this the 19 or no?
No, it would have been like 16, 17 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Something like that is when I was in Vegas. But that was
That's
first.
The Rio. Was it the Rio?
Yes, it was the Rio. Yes,
Okay.
it was the Rio.
Yep.
So that was my first real
It's a great hotel, by the way.
It was my first great experience with Vegas trade show life. I've been to Vegas before for trade shows, but much smaller.
Yep.
So to kind of see the GSE Expo, that was kind of my eye-opening moment, especially to see everybody's equipment, right? So when you work within an airline, you're only seeing what you're buying.
Yeah.
And in most airlines, just like anybody else, you're buying to what you need and your very specific needs. So to go to the expo and see everything that's out there was very eye-opening for me.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So what is JBT working on right now? What is JBT pushing?
We're working on a little bit of everything right now.
Okay.
So the biggest thing that we've really grown accustomed to, and putting out of the factory like the back of our hand, like we have anything else, is our loaders, electric loaders. So we're now doing electric Rangers, electric Commander 15s, electric Commander 30s.
So are all those out in the marketplace right now?
They are in the market right now. So we've got a number of customers with different variations of all those types of loaders. I think the biggest one that is becoming more of a demand is the Ranger. The Ranger, especially for the ground handlers and a lot of the leasing companies such as Exceed, it's a very durable, full suspension loader that can be driven from gate to gate or ramp to ramp, whatever, however you need it. But it's also at a slightly lower cost point too. So we're finding that to be more of a demand, and we can make it from a wide to a universal, so we can get to main decks as well. But obviously, from any of the commanders as well, everything's flying off the shelves. We have a very healthy backlog right now. So that's not stopping anybody from a standpoint of lead times from ordering them, because they know that they're going to be reliable pieces of equipment. They're going to last 3 decades if you take care of them right. So
if a customer doesn't know what the difference between, maybe they've always bought Commanders,
yeah,
right? So
yep.
What is the difference between a Commander and a Ranger? Like what would be your selling point, and the difference? Now I know the Commander is, it is the industry standard,
yeah.
right? I think we can say that. And so a lot of people have fleets full of Commanders. So we're not saying anything bad about the Commander, but what I want to make sure is like that the customer understands
the difference.
What the difference between those two products are.
So I'll start with the Commander because that's probably the most common one, well-known one anyways. So a Commander is built to just be at a gate and pull up to a plane, 10, 15 yards and pull back and park again. It's supposed to be static. It's not really supposed to be driven across terminals or from, gate to gate. The Ranger is built to be mobile. It's got suspension on all four corners of it. It's a smooth ride. It's built for ground handlers and it's built for certain operations where you got to leave the gate. You got to go somewhere else or you got to go to another terminal, and you're not going to beat the equipment to death and you're not going to damage it by doing so. What we found is that we had a lot of customers driving the Commander 15s, Commander 30s almost a mile across airports to get to other operations, to put it in use. And what that was doing to the Commanders, and it was just kind of beating them up a little bit because those are not meant to be driven like that. And everybody knows that. So we built the Ranger that's a little bit lighter weight. It's got full suspension on it, and it does everything a Commander 15 can do. So what we're finding is that we found this kind of flex area, this gray area in the loader line that it's really been beneficial for a lot of people. And it was actually a really easy transition to make that electric as well, along with the Commanders. And it's been a great product for us, and we're continuing to increase capacity.
Yeah. So for a ground handler, it's perfect, right? Multiple operations going. Yeah. They can just drive that from gate to gate and not have to buy maybe 2 or 3 Commanders.
Exactly.
Right? They can buy the one Ranger.
Exactly.
And still be able to get to their operation. All right. What about pushbacks? So I know that obviously you all have the B series pushbacks, right? You got the B1200, B950, B650, B350, B250.
Look at you. You know, right? You know it.
I know.
What am I doing here? I don't need to sell anything.
I know a little bit. So are all of those have they also all been converted to electric or is that in process? How does that look?
Yeah. So we're in the process of transitioning majority of those to electric. So when COVID hit, we were basically focusing on the 250s and the smaller tractors because of passenger business and whatnot. But when COVID hit, it changed everything. Passenger business dropped off significantly, but what skyrocketed was cargo, right? So we ended up changing our focus, and the first tractor we converted to electric was a B650. And that was just because the cargo airlines were still operating at peak levels. We weren't having a whole lot of demand from the passenger side. So the Deltas, the Uniteds, the Southwests of the world. And so we said, okay, well, here's our opportunity. Let's focus on the 650s. We know that, people will use it and they'll get bought. So we started there. We had a couple of demos out there in the field. They worked great. And we started selling those first, and we're still making those. You just saw one on the line earlier as we were walking through the facility. And now we're focusing on the B250. So we're now shifting back to the passenger side a little bit more. So that B250 is going to be a great vehicle. You saw the first prototype sitting outside. It's about to be put through the test of of ground handling and everything else, and beat it up as much as we can so that we can work all the kinks out right. So the 950 and the 1200 will probably come last, mainly just because of pure scope of them. Obviously, those are very large tractors and they require a whole lot of power. So it's not that it can't be done. We know it can be done. It's just going to take time. And honestly, we haven't had a whole lot of demand for electric size tractors at that level for 950 and 1200. Everybody's been typically pretty pleased with keeping them diesel for the time being, but those will be transitioned to electric as soon as we are done in testing the 250s and putting those into production.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when I think of JBT, I think of cargo loaders.
Yeah.
I think of pushbacks, right? So, but you all are kind of entering a new market, from my understanding, and you're going to offer some bag tractors. Is that correct?
So let me make sure I say this right so I don't get griped at. It is a cargo tractor with the capability of obviously also being a baggage tractor. We have what's called a B80. Some of our customers currently have these in the field. It is a larger cargo tractor, a little bit more heavy duty, a little bit more durable to take that beating that we all know that those tractors can go through out there on the ramp. And they're also full suspension, so it's got a great ride to it. right now we have gas units in the field, and we're going to be we're converting that to electric right now. So we have a lot of folks waiting for that tractor specifically to hit the market with electric, because I think, as we all know, that's probably the easiest way to start converting your fleets to electric, is starting small. So we have a pretty nice line waiting for those electric B80s to come in, and we're excited about it. So I think it's going to be a great product for us. It's been, I think, out in the field for about 2 years now, and from a gas perspective. And once electric's up and running, it'll be a great show. So, and we're going to have the first electric unit in Vegas for the show this year.
Oh, wow.
So make sure to stop by the booth and come check it out.
Yeah, what else is going to be? Speaking of which, what else is going to be in Vegas?
Yeah,
what are you bringing
there will
to
be
the
a
demo
nice
area?
Yeah, there will be a nice new product in Vegas this year. And Matt, you are fortunately the first person to kind of have this publicized on your platform. So we're, as JBT, have created something through some customer input and customer demands and just innovation internally with what we call the AMP cart. And the AMP cart is going to be a mobile GSE charging station. So it's going to be on a dolly. You can pull it behind a cargo tractor. You can move it wherever you need to. It's going to have a diesel gen set on it. You can have up to 6 chargers on it. Each charger has 2 outputs. So that's up to 12 pieces of equipment. The standard spec will have 4 chargers. So that's obviously going to charge 8 units, but you can get it up to 12 units. But we're really excited about it. Theoretically, you can charge a Commander 15 in about 4 hours, and that's if the batteries are like 20%. So you're never going to let the batteries get to 0, right? So you're looking at roughly a 4-hour lead or charge time on that. But yeah, we're really looking forward to have it out in the market. You saw it here in the facility. We got the prototype about 80% of the way through, and we've already pre-sold units with the customer that we collaborated with for this. But we're really excited. Obviously, we all know electrification for GSE is the biggest and the biggest concern and biggest need for everybody right now, regardless if you're a ground handler, an airline, or a leasing company. That's where everything's going, right? But we all know the biggest pain point is having that the facility access to charge the actual equipment. It's anybody can buy the equipment, but do you have the infrastructure at the airport to actually get it in? We know there's a lot of pushback from airports right now to get chargers installed. This gives you another option. Basically, if you're charging 8 to 12 units on that on the AMP cart and you're using a diesel genset, you're only using an 1/8 or 1/12 of the diesel emissions that you had before. So that's a vast difference. No, it's not a 0. You're not completely canceling all out, but you can, because the good thing about the AMP card is that, let's say you do have facility access to plug something in, you can plug in the AMP card into the airport infrastructure, and then you have no diesel need, and you can still charge 8 to 12 units off that AMP card. So
it's like a power surge.
It is, yeah. It's actually, this is one of those things that you see kind of hit the market, and you're like, wow, why didn't anybody else think of this?
Yeah.
It just makes so much sense, especially with where the market is these days and what the obstacles are for everybody. Obviously, I think this is going to make a huge impact in the state of California. I think we all know that. It could easily help out in a lot of places there for a lot of different people. But yes, we will have the AMP cart prototype in Las Vegas at the show this year. So we are very excited to have that there and to show off and show everybody. And yeah, we're really looking forward to having that out in the market and kind of showing it off, because it's a pretty piece of equipment. It's not just it's not just some chargers and a diesel gen set sitting there.
It's visually pleasing.
It is. So it actually is aesthetically going to look good sitting out on the ramp, with your GSE charging to it. So
yeah, it's an incredible product. I actually got to see. Is it the prototype? Is that what I got to see?
That's the first unit.
First unit.
That is the first prototype unit that's going to go to.
I got to see number 1 today as we were touring the factory. So that was super exciting. And then, when you talk to customers, when you talk to other manufacturers, we talk about electric, right? It's all about infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there. The infrastructure is not there. This is a great way to get that infrastructure up and going, at a location that you really want to have electric equipment, or the infrastructure is coming. You want to go ahead and get that electric equipment in there. You can bring in that AMP cart and until they're ready to go, you can use that. And then, like you said, once that infrastructure is in place, you can still use it just to make it so you have more chargers, more capable. So it's a great solution. I mean, super excited to see it in Las Vegas, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And I think the good thing about this particular, when we're talking about the aesthetics of it, we can put different paint colors. We can put a roof on it, put your logo on top of it. That way, when people are looking down outside the window, at the gate about to board their plane, they just see a giant customer logo on top of it. So as much as it is, something operational, right? Mm-hmm. It's also a really good branding tool because you can put a giant logo on top of it. And I know I'm talking to a marketing guy right now.
Yeah, so. No, I'm like all the ideas are floating around right now.
I'm sorry, Matt. Did you say you want Exceed Blue on that roof?
Right. Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. I definitely think it'd be a great product for Exceed. I think I'll have to talk to some people about that. Well, that's awesome, man. Thanks for telling me about it. Trying to get this out into the industry. This is going to be a great way to this is a great way for the podcast to start out hearing about new innovative products that are coming out into the market. And it's great for JBT because you all have done something that the industry needs desperately, I think. So
yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. And obviously we've got other areas of the company as well. One thing that as you probably saw as well today was the de-ice truck line. The de-icer trucks are still, they're just like the Commanders. They're flying off the line. We can't make them quick enough. The backlog is still really healthy. And we're continuously trying to find ways to be innovative with de-icers and cut down on parts and so forth. So our engineer, Matt Montanero, has done a great job cutting out, excessive parts usage. It's actually like the second lowest number of parts on any product we have.
That's incredible.
JBT. For a de-icer, that's pretty amazing, right? So we know the de-ice line is doing great. One thing that we're going to be looking at in the future in terms of new products is potentially having a smaller version of our Tempest Eye.
Okay.
Especially for the airlines that, they're not operating 777s and they're not operating the larger wide bodies. They're just focused on the narrow body aircrafts.
Yeah.
Because we know the Tempest Eye we have right now might be overkill for someone who's just operating 737s or smaller aircrafts like that. So that'll be in the near future. That's still on the drawing board. We're kind of just looking at ideas and getting customer feedback on, hey, what's on your golden wish list for a smaller de-icer, right? So that's one of the things we're looking at, but also just can't forget about the Electro product.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I almost forgot to ask about Electro. And
talking about electric equipment.
Yeah. Right. And then that is, and you have it right on your shirt there too.
Yeah. So. Hey, speaking of shirts, we kind of forgot to discuss the Roback sponsorship.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. If you ever see a picture of me on LinkedIn, I'm probably wearing a Roback shirt. Yeah. So I'm a big
Very
fan.
patriotic today. Sorry, that was a wormhole there, rabbit hole.
No, you're fine. I usually wear this. I got the American flag on here too. I don't know if you noticed that. It's really nice.
Made in America, like JBT.
So, exactly. There you go. Yeah. Do you all have? You don't produce things outside the United States, do you?
we had actually we do. I can't make that joke now.
Oh yeah.
No. So we are actually manufacturing a few things overseas.
Okay.
We actually have a facility in India now where we're going to be manufacturing B250s.
Oh, okay.
Because B250s we can't make enough of. I mean, it doesn't matter where we make them; they sell, and we're selling them all over the world. So obviously. Logistics coming out of Orlando going to APAC or Europe is not ideal. So we have a really, really good facility in India. They're going to be making B250 there. They're also going to be making the electric B250s there. And we'll have enough capacity there that if we need to flex up and send some to America, we can. So we're doing that. We also have a facility in Mexico that does, certain components for the lines here in Orlando.
Yep.
But also going back to the Electro unit is selling so fast right now that we have to increase capacity. So we're potentially looking at expanding manufacturing capabilities of Electro at either a Mexico facility or somewhere else in the States, just because especially the larger models, the L88s and the L89s that can move those 7.3s and 7.5s. The larger airlines are grabbing them now. So
I bet.
Traditionally, when Electro was selling to, the FBOs of the world, we're really dipping into the Deltas and the Southwests and Uniteds and of course with those type of airlines come bigger wallets and more orders. And the Warrenton plant up in Oregon, they're doing a fantastic job. The problem is they don't get a break, right?
Yeah, so they're at capacity.
Yeah, so times. I mean, we have a healthy backlog there as well, just like we do in Orlando. But obviously, from a new product development, we're working on getting those converted to PLC-driven units, so that we can have IOPS and the electro products like we do with the JBT products, and have the telemetry services and troubleshooting for maintenance if there's ever an issue. So, but also hey, we can stick any kind of battery in those things. Whether it's lithium or whatever you want, we can do it most of the time. So those folks up in Warrenton are doing great. I just want to make sure we give them a little bit of love.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you brought that up. There was something else I was going to ask you, but because I can't think of the next question. So it was never a thought to try to move the electro line to Orlando?
No, that was one of those things. Here in Orlando, our facility is set up to a T for the loaders and for the larger tractors and for the deicers and for fabrication and everything else. We would definitely need additional space for that.
Yeah.
At the same time, Warrenton has this perfected pretty much. Why fix something that's not broken? So we're perfectly happy with everything being in Warrenton. I think we're just going to end up expanding those lines to elsewhere as well. We're still keeping everything there, but we'll obviously try to find some space in another facility that we can just up capacity for some of those models. So, but no, there's no plans to move anything out of Warrenton. Yeah, it's a pretty drive from Portland. Why wouldn't you want to do it?
Yeah, no, I've never been. I need to go to that facility. And now I remember what I was going to ask you about was IOPS.
Yeah.
So is that on every piece of equipment that leaves here? Or is that, I guess, is it an option or is it standard?
So for any tractor above a B350, so that'd be your 650, 950, and 1200s, standard.
Okay.
Deicers, standard. Loaders, standard. So the only thing that doesn't have is a 250 and a 350.
Okay.
That's just because there's smaller tractors, less space to put modems, but it's one of those things also. IOPS is catching on very quickly right now. We've already been, as a sales team, having been conversations with engineering about just making that standard on a 250 and a 350, because if a customer like yourself is going to have IOPS and telemetry services looking at all your other JBT equipment, why are we leaving out 2, right?
Now, did we explain what IOPS is?
No, we probably should go into depth a little bit.
Go ahead.
IOPS is JBT's platform for telemetry services. So essentially, we piggyback and partner with ADVs to use their modems on our equipment. So with a JBT equipment, you already get the ADV's modem, unless it's a 250 or 350 right now. And then we basically piggyback off that, and we have our own additional platform called IOPS. IOPS basically gives you a look into hundreds of data points. We capture everything within IOPS. If you're maintenance driven, obviously this is probably perfect for you. It will give you every fault code on that piece of equipment since it went into service. It will tell you how often it's driven, how often it's in idle, what's the gas consumption, what's the battery consumption, anything and everything. And because all of our equipment's PLC driven, if there's any fault code, it's going to help you troubleshoot that remotely. So someone like Javier, who's going to be in Indianapolis for you all, if a piece of equipment goes down in California, he can log into IOPS, see exactly what the fault code is, and give that technician on site all the troubleshooting steps that he needs. So it's going to help a long way for managing fleets. Obviously, with having the ability to use the ADVs and the IOPS together, it's a full fleet management system. And it's something that we are continuously working to improve. We actually recently, as of I think 3 or 4 months ago, we hired a product manager specifically for IOPS. Her name is Monique, and she came from, I'll just say, a cellular company doing similar work. And she's been awesome. I mean, she's taken it to another level. And we're working with customers right now, gaining additional feedback. Like, what else can we make? What else can we put in this to help everybody? So it's a great platform. I highly suggest that if you're listening to this and you haven't done your research into IOPS, please reach out to anybody you know at JBT, and we can get you in contact with the right people to get you a demo, get you set up, and that way you can manage your fleet a little bit better, a little easier.
Do you know what year that started coming standard on your products?
Oh,
I hate to put you on the
I
spot
think that
here.
was a COVID baby, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a COVID product. I think it really went into effect. Don't shoot
Sorry.
the messenger. No, it's okay. I could be totally wrong. I think it was somewhere in 18, if I had to guess. 19 is when we like really first started introducing it. But from what it is now to what it is then is probably night and day. So to me, I've been part of some of the latest presentations with customers for IOPS, and it's one of those things that like, how could you not use this? Especially if you're somebody within a position where you're managing the entire fleet, for a company across the country. It makes your life so much easier, especially when you're getting one story. We know how it is. You're going to get one story from boots on the ground, and then you can go into IOPS and look and be like, no, it's this fault code. We need to do this. So yeah, it's a great product.
So what are current lead times looking like on most of your products? Like if you had to give like a generalization of what
it changes every day.
Yeah, I bet, right? Yeah.
That's like I said earlier, the lead times has not stopped anybody from ordering.
Well, no.
It's actually kind of wild. I mean, because I think it's, I can't speak on behalf
if you don't
of other
get in line,
manufacturers,
you'll never get what you need.
Exactly.
Right?
But for loaders like Commander 30s, we're already looking at early 2024.
Okay.
Commander 15s, we're getting towards the end of 23. And the tractors are kind of right there with it, late Q3, early Q4 23. Like I said, that also changes every day. I mean, like one day it's, September, and the next day it's November, and because an airline came in and cut a huge PO. It's just, I guess that's the nice thing about our equipment. It's reliable to a point. You know what you're going to get. You're not going to have issues with it. If you do have an issue with it, we're going to handle that. We're going to make sure we have spare parts. We typically, knock on wood, don't have any critical shortages when it comes to spare parts. And Joe Davis, our service manager, can get a technician there quickly. So we know the JBT name as a trustworthy, reliable name. That equipment's going to last you at least 3 decades, if not more. And so people know that. And so the lead times, they're willing to wait for it. And obviously partnering with someone like Exceed helps us, give them a middle ground to, hey, let's go talk to Exceed. We can get you a leased unit in the meantime while your stuff's on order. And, everybody wins, right? So
yeah, we're good at closing that gap, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some gap coverage.
Yeah, as well as I do, some people like buying their equipment. Some people like leasing their equipment. And having that flexibility with someone like Exceed, it's the best of both worlds. So, someone comes in, they need equipment fast, they can put something on order, but they can also go, hey, I need some help for 6 to 9 months, until we get something in. But no, I mean, lead times, look, they're healthy. And so deicers are the same way. I think our lead times are out to late Q3, early Q4, if not 2024 already. And that's just the way the business right now. Everybody has their issues and obstacles with supply chain. We know supply chain's killing everybody. It's just managing it as best as you can. Every week it's something different that you're having to address. So, okay, this supplier can't get this to us now. And it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in these days in the GSE industry as well. I mean, manufacturing as a whole is living that life right now. So
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, luckily we have a fantastic partnership with JBT, and we have a lot of your equipment and we have inventory. So, if people are running into those longer lead times, it's nice that they can call us and lease that piece of equipment. As I said, like as gap coverage, or some people just like to lease. They like to do, 5 to 7 year leases. And we offer all of those. So, but yeah, we are, we're big fans of JBT, and that's the reason we're here today and talking to you. And I really appreciate all the information. Is there anything else that we need to let everybody in the industry know?
Oh man, I don't know.
Any highlights?
I don't think we did. I mean, we let them into a good bit here.
Yeah, we really did.
Like I said, we're really looking forward to Vegas this year. It's going to be a really good showing for JBT. On top of having the amp cart and the BE80 there, obviously with Electro under the JBT umbrella, we're going to have some Electro products there as well, and their sales team. So we're going to have a big showing, and our new marketing manager, Suzanne, who you've met as well, she's doing a fantastic job getting it put together. So we're excited. We're really excited.
So do you go to Vegas a lot?
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot. No.
Okay. So what are you looking forward to? Like non-work type of thing? Like what do you...
The food.
The food. Yeah.
I mean,
Is there like a favorite restaurant you have?
Man, I'm trying to think of the name of it now. I'm going to have to Google it because I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But there is a breakfast brunch spot at the Paris.
Okay.
That is fantastic. I had a buddy who was an assistant coach for UNLV. And last time I was in Vegas, I was there actually working the NBA Summer League when I was doing I did stats for the Grizzlies. It's just as a kind of paid hobby, side hustle, part-time gig.
Yeah.
And I was out there and he recommended this place to me, and I'm going to find it or else it's going to drive me absolutely mad.
My favorite spot while you're looking for that is Tacos El Gordo.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to Tacos El Gordo?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's scary for me having to release this information on a podcast that could potentially go viral.
Yeah, you never know.
And then the lines are going to be that much longer. But Tacos El Gordo, and you can Google it where there's a location, and there is one fairly near, the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Yeah.
At 11:30 to 1 a.m. The line is out the door. It's where, after you've had a long night, you go there and you get tacos. Tacos are fantastic. Phenomenal. And listen, they have these things called, and wait for it, carne asada fries.
Oh,
that are
making me hungry now.
Oh, they're insane. So I would, that's my spot that I look forward to going to every year when I'm out in Vegas. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk to people about the Paris here.
Hex. HEXX. It's on the street at the Paris. You can't miss it. It is phenomenal. When I tell you like brunch menu items that are just kind of weird, kind of, eclectic or unique, they were just great. And it was like, what one was, hey, well, this isn't unique, but their chicken and waffles, phenomenal.
Okay.
But they had
and that's saying something, you coming from Memphis. Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, so that's
everything's fried in Memphis, especially the chicken.
Now I'm actually wanting to go because I know it's going to be good.
Oh yeah. So they had a carrot cake, pancake dish.
Oh wow.
And it didn't come with it came with the icing you would eat off a carrot cake, but it was melted in a syrup form. It was, I mean, I didn't want to see my sugar levels after that. There's no telling what it was, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't had a bad meal there. I've been there probably 4 or 5 times, just over the course of going to Vegas for different reasons, but always good.
All right. Good. So last question, the most important question.
Yep.
If you're going to Memphis, where are you eating barbecue?
Man.
This is for the whole industry. They're going to want to know.
This is an age-old debate.
I know, but
hard.
Just your personal favorite. It doesn't have to be the best. Where are you going?
The most. So there's 2 categories of Memphis food. There's barbecue, then there's the fried chicken category.
We're only going barbecue.
Barbecue. I want to have to go Central barbecue. I mean, from an out-of-towner perspective, it's going to have probably the best of all categories of barbecue. The ribs are good, the pulled pork's good, the brisket's good, the smoked wings are phenomenal. Highly recommend those. Nachos are always solid. If you're ever in Memphis, barbecue nachos is a thing you need to do if you just not really ever had barbecue nachos. If I had to go a local joint, so Central Barbecue is kind of a Memphis chain of sorts now. But if you just want to talk about a hole in a wall type place, Cozy Corner Barbecue is the place.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's the place you want to go. That's the,
that's your boutique barbecue.
You can tell it's, it's been there for a few generations. It's rough on the edges, but you walk in and you're like, oh, this is going to be good. You just know it when you walk in the door. It's going to be phenomenal, and it's always phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my barbecue recommendations.
No, that's perfect. That's what we needed. Yeah. I mean, this is probably going to be the most popular episode just because I'm gonna tease.
We're gonna hype up food.
Yes, we're gonna NBA and food.
NBA food with a side of GSE.
That's exactly.
Yeah. So and I think outside of that, obviously the fried chicken, Gus's fried chicken used to be just a Memphis thing. Now it's in Dallas and Atlanta and Nashville, all these other places. Uncle Lou's fried chicken.
All right.
It's near the airport. So just be wary of what time of day you go there.
Okay.
So I recommend a lunch. But by far the best fried chicken you'll have. And they've been on diners, drive-in and dives 3 times. Uncle Lou himself goes to all these special events with Guy Fieri. But I mean, that fried chicken there is just phenomenal. So highly recommend it.
All right. That is, those are great recommendations. I really appreciate it. Now I'm just hungry,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think it's time for us to go to lunch anyway. So thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate
it. Yeah, man. So we'll have to come back with another JBT episode.
Yeah, we'll bring in some guests on the next one. Like we'll get Christian to do some side guest stuff.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting characters here that we could bring in,
say the least.
and so yeah, but no, I really do appreciate the time, and this has been Matt and Patrick for the third ever episode of the GSE podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.